Oh, there. Another quick video here. I realized I didn't really explain or finish up the seat base removal. As you can see, the seat, the shell, and the base are all out of here, and now it's just the air tank. That's put in there pretty solid. I mean, it's got a little wiggle because it's only got 2 bolts on it through wood that's rotten. But hey, and as you can see here, there are 2 holes. As mentioned in the previous video, there were 2 bolts holding it on, and then the 1 bolt down here that actually holds it through the floor. Now, crush a bug. Yeah, nice another hole there. Anyway, now, I noticed something when I was taking it out, that the bolts the heads were towards the front, and the threads pushed through to the rear. And that made it really annoying, because that means after I took the nuts off, I had to spin the nuts back down by hand, just enough to where the bolts wouldn't be sliding around all over the place. They would actually stay put. And then I had to do it for both of them. And then to get it out of there, I had to use my, bigger adjustable. And then against the shell with the seat base on here, I had to flex it back like that. There, to get enough room to actually get the bolts out of there, because where it sits with the buckle bracket on here, with the winch for the buckle bracket, I mean, that's the width of a finger barely, there wasn't enough room to slide the bolt out, one of them engineering things. And that's actually how I'm going to go reassemble it as well, even though it'll make it more difficult to reassemble it. Well, why not just drop the bolt in from the backside? Well, because when you have your seat up here and the strap comes down for the seat belt, it's constantly pulling and flexing it forward. You think, well, it's not that big a deal. It does. I mean, over decades and years of time and miles, it'll pull on it, and it'll bring this closer. And with the seat shell, with the seat base on here coming down, even extending farther than this, if those bolts are going from back to front, they're going to dig into that seat base and rub a hole through it and possibly dig into the air tank, and that would be a big problem. So by having the bolts go this way, from the head here, and then the thread sticking off this way, it doesn't touch anything. It doesn't get in the way. It makes it more difficult to assemble and disassemble, but it makes it a lot safer, and the running result of it when you're driving down the road is much better. As you can see, the wall, other than it being dirty, is perfectly fine. It's not all chewed up from anything rubbing on it or nothing, so I'm going to keep it that way by not having, I'm not going to chew up the tank or nothing. I'm not going to chew it up. So even though the bolts were sticking to the rear, they're not cutting into the wall at all. So once I had those 2 bolts out of there, like I said, I used my handle to flex it. Not a lot of pressure, just enough to get the bolts out. And once the bolts were out, I could take the buckle out. And once the buckle out, I still needed to do a little wiggling and shimmying to get the seat base out of there. I'm sorry I didn't record that. I was running out of time and space on the phone. I had other stuff, and I just had, limited time and space to be able to do stuff, because I got to wait for the video to upload to YouTube. That way I can clear it off my phone and make more room, and things weren't working out. And, taking what time I can to work on this. And so anyway, it was pretty easy. Once I got the bolts out, flexed it, got the bolts out, the buckle thing came right with it. There wasn't nothing else holding it on other than those 2 bolts. And then the seat base, just a little bit of wiggling, and pulled it right out. And now it's sitting behind the shed. You can see the shed. There it is, there's the shed. It's sitting behind the shed, and they'll clean it off real well. I got the seat itself sitting in the shed, because I've got to clean that real well. And now I got access to the tank, and it looks like, the plastic on the inside, maybe rub it on it a little bit. And there we go. And there's the tank. It sounds like the air leak is coming from right over here somewhere. You can see the tank is sitting on these rubber pads. Very dense, very stiff rubber pads. Which is good, because that way the tank isn't sitting on the floor all the way across. It's just sitting on those pads. It keeps it vibration. It makes it better. And once I get some new wood underneath this rubber matting, put new matting in, and put new rubber on it, it should be real good. Shouldn't have any more issues with it. At least not for another 50 years or so. But it's definitely leaking from this side. I had it running in the previous video. I'm feeling all around and everything, trying to feel where the air leak's coming from, and I can't feel anything, but I can hear it real strong right over here. So I'm fairly confident that I got an air leak, because when it goes down from there, it's going through that floor, and just like all the screws that were holding on the seat base, they were all rusted out, because the wood is retaining moisture. The good thing with wood is that it doesn't really rust, and it's cheaper. The problem is it retains water. So all that water in there is probably rusted out the fitting, the brackets, or whatever, fittings or bolt to mountings or something on the air tank. So now I probably either got cracked welds or failed welds due to rust, or just the line has one of the lines has a lot of pressure on it, like the one that sticks, the drain line sticks down and has the exhaust pushing on it. Regardless of what it is, I'm gonna have to pull this tank out of here no matter what, because I got to replace the wood on the floor, so I got to pull the tank out. So might as well get it out now. I need to get it out. I got to get that air leak taken care of, and then that'll be another step closer to getting it onto the shop, to getting the welding done. Oh, and once that's done, I can get the painting on, or I can start getting through the frame and body work and everything and get it painted. Oh, it's getting there. Progress is being made. Slow as it may be, it's getting made. All I gotta do is keep working on it. So here we go. That's the next thing. Gonna cut it here. Short video. I'm gonna cut it here, and then start a new topic for in-cab air tank removal. See you then.